4 Entertainment presents
a White Snoop production.
And welcome back to another episode of the White Snoop T-Rose Show. My name is White Snoop. This is T-Rose. This is actually the final division preview we're going to do this season. We have coming up for you the Northwest Division. It's kind of got some interesting stuff from top to bottom to talk about. Of course, we'll start at the top with the Oklahoma City Thunder. You know, of course, they got their star Kevin Durant, who's, not only a great player, but he seems to be improving over the last couple seasons. Of course, a lot of things have changed for this team, though. I mean, you look back, they were in Seattle when they drafted, Durant and Jeff Green. They moved to Oklahoma City. That's when they started adding, Westbrook and Harden and Ibaka. And they started developing this really nice young core. They made the playoffs, and, then they went to the conference finals, and, then
the NBA finals.
Then the NBA finals, and then, last season, of course, they got ousted in the second round. Westbrook was hurt in the first round. Forrest Westbrook just made his triumphant return the other day. So it's kind of like they almost like peaked at losing in the finals, and and they're almost in a decline. I mean, of course, with Durant and Westbrook, they're going to be good. They're going to be a good team. I think they're going to be a top 3 seed in the West. But I think best case scenario is the Western Conference Finals with them. I mean, maybe the finals. I don't look at them as such a threat as I did, 2 years ago. And that's that's my opinion on them.
Yeah, it's obviously, I wouldn't say they peaked in the finals.
I just mean their roster peaked.
Well, yeah, well,
I mean, like Durant and Westbrook are better now than they were, but I mean, losing James Harden.
Yeah, well, the obviously losing Harden hurts.
And they also have the least efficient player in the NBA on their roster.
Yeah.
And I know he's been in amnesty rumors every season, but he's still there. I mean, and then his backup is Hasheem Thabeet. So, I mean.
Who were we out with during the playoffs? Who was trying to give him props?
That was that
guy we met. Yeah,
I don't remember his name.
Oh, we call him, get him on the show to explain that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
if he can convince anybody that Hasheem.
What did he say? What did he say? They have a what? I was
trying to explain, and let's touch on this really quick. One of the things I really don't like about this team offensively is that they have nobody that can score in the post. I mean, Durant and Westbrook get to the rim, but they're not post scorers. Neither of them set up on the block, put their back to the basket, and get you easy buckets. No. And it just, I don't like. And that's when the guy chimed in and said they have the Hasheem Thabeet.
Yeah, and
it's I mean, if he's watching the show,
we'll have to send him the link. No, I've been saying that. I think Charles Barkley says it best. Jump shooting teams never win NBA championships.
Because they don't get easy buckets.
I
mean, they're in the mix. I mean,
definitely. With Durant and Westbrook, we're talking 2 of the top players in the game. They're definitely in the mix. But my question is the rest of the roster. I mean, I like Cephalosha, but he's not really getting you. Like, he's not really going to get you buckets.
We have to see what Jeremy Lamb does.
To me,
Jones
Serge Ibaka, and I know you like Serge. I like him too, but
the only thing
offensively, he just doesn't do it for me. When I turn
the only thing he really does is dunk and
he shoots jump shots.
Yeah.
When I turn on a Thunder game, and I'm watching him take 20-footers, I'm like, seriously?
I mean,
but
in his defense, he can hit him. The problem is, though, is that he doesn't. Him or nobody else on the roster. I don't have a problem with the fact that he can hit a jump shot and he can open up the lane. But the thing is him, Perkins, even Durant. I mean, Durant's a great scorer, but one thing that he doesn't do is post up.
Yeah.
I mean, none of these guys post up. You bring Nick Collison off the bench, he doesn't post up. I don't even remember seeing Perry Jones play. So I've never seen him post anybody up.
No, he's more of a perimeter guy.
Hasheem Thabeet doesn't post anybody up.
No.
I mean, Westbrook is a decent-sized point guard. He doesn't post up other point guards.
No, Westbrook is everything he gets. It's off the dribble, off the
And Durant too.
Yeah, and Durant too. So they are purely a perimeter team.
It's hard to fall in love with a perimeter team.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like you said, they're going to be in the mix just because of the two guys, the 1-2 punch that they have.
Scott Brooks has done a good job with this team defensively.
Yeah. But the one thing I will say on this show, and I'm sure you're going to agree with me, all these people who, they should trade Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook and Durant can't play together. Well, that team turned into a completely different squad during the playoffs last year when he went down.
Well, I think it's the opposite. I think I think Westbrook is exactly what Durant needs.
Yeah, I know, but there's people that say that and it's just.
There's also people that say Hasheem Thabit's a good post scorer.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, you're always going to have idiots.
Yeah, that's true.
Because remember, he also said he would. And not to go off subject, but
what did he say?
The same guy said he would take Amari Stoudemire injured over Tim Duncan healthy.
Yeah, how that look like? How'd that work out last year?
So there's always going to be idiots out there.
Yeah, wait, who was with it? Brian Jordan witnessed this.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brian.
Brian, I think Gary was there.
Gary Walker was there too. Yep. So they bared witness.
I mean, people are always going to say stupid things that just make no sense.
Yeah.
I mean, Westbrook being traded. I mean, the other aspect you didn't even touch on is, and if somebody out there, I mean, you have our Twitter handles, you have our hashtag. Hit us up and let us know if you could come up with a make it realistic. Come up with a trade idea that can bring back something that could make the Thunder better
than they are now with Westbrook.
And if you can come up with a trade idea,
shout out to my. Now this is my.
Listen, wait, hold on, one more. I'm just really finished. Okay. If anybody out there can come up with a trade idea where the Thunder can trade Westbrook, it has to be realistic, and look like the other team would actually take it. So I mean, let's keep it realistic. Let's make the money work, and if you could come up with an idea that you could look at and go, okay, I can see how this makes the Thunder better. We will put it on our show, and we will credit you. We'll put your Twitter handle up and credit you with the idea, and we'll admit that we're wrong. There is an option out there. But until then, you can't trade Russell Westbrook because the Thunder they're never going to bring back equal value for him.
And Greg will know, and
Durant will leave in 2016.
And our boy Brian, I know we're killing Brian right now. He knows that I have a rule that you cannot put out any bizarre trade scenario without, you can't just say they need to trade this guy without telling me who they're trading for. What are they getting? Yeah, what are they getting? You can't just throw out they should just trade this guy. That's our rule. But anyway, getting back to the subject.
I mean, they're a top playoff seed. I don't see them coming out of the West. I mean, they could. They have best case scenario. They are good enough to go all the way. I just don't see it happening. I think more realistically, they're a top Western Conference team that maybe loses in the conference finals.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, definitely.
That's probably a more realistic best case scenario.
Yeah.
Of course, worst case scenario is their jump shot turns cold and they're a third seed that's out in the second round.
Yeah.
Because I just don't like the fact that they can't get easy post scoring.
No easy shots. I
think that pretty much finishes up that team.
Yeah. And then we're gonna move on to the Mile High.
Yeah, the Denver Nuggets.
And JaVale McGee.
always good for entertainment. JaVale McGee. Definitely interesting.
This team, I think this team, I think this team. I have them in the playoffs. I think they're going to take a step back, though. I think losing Iggy, losing that dynamic, I think that's going to hurt them. They bring in Nate Robinson. Not really sure how I feel about that. I mean, it's just one of those things. When Nate is hot, when he's hot, you're like, whoa.
As long as he continues to come off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, they're
going to have Ty Lawson.
Yeah, I mean, I like Ty Lawson.
Andre Miller. They have other options
Andre
still,
Miller,
which is good.
Gallo will be back. He's probably their best scorer offensively. He'll spread the floor. I mean it's
they have a nice roster.
The surest thing on this team in my mind is Fareed. You're getting out of Kevin Fareed every night.
Absolutely.
So that's probably him and Ty Lawson are probably the biggest sure things on this squad. I'll throw Andre Miller in there too. You know what you're going to get from him, but
I mean they have a lot of talent on this team from top to bottom. nobody on this team really blows you away, though. I mean, that's kind of how the Nuggets have been since Melo got traded.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of great mediocre talent that everybody kind of steps in and does their job. George Karl always had this team, running and going and playing their hardest. George Karl got them to 57 wins. They had the 3rd seed last season. And I think losing, Iguodala and George Karl. I mean, I know you mentioned Iggy, but I think losing George Karl is going to hurt him too. I think the way that George Karl had him going is what got them to the success level that they were at. I think they're gonna stay in the playoffs because they're still talented, and I'm very happy that Brian Shaw finally got the job.
Yeah, I was gonna say no disrespect to Brian Shaw, but George Karl, he's been a good coach in the league for a very long time. So, and
I know, Brian will keep this team. They're definitely. I think they're going to be a lower seed team, though. I think they're going to be between 6 and 8.
Yeah.
I think 6 can be the highest they'll get.
Yeah. I agree.
But I think they can end up in a 7 or 8 seed. So I think they're definitely going to dip.
Yeah, they'll give.
They'll probably end up being out in the first round.
Yeah, because of their home court playing in the Mile High, the altitude. They'll give a team in the first round a run for their money. Weren't they like the best?
They were like one of the best.
One of the best home teams last year. So yeah, I think
they'll still be up there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I agree. 6 to 8. It's just So that's it. I mean, I don't really have anything else to say about the Nuggets. Really, I think we touched everything there. So.
Oh, one of your favorite teams. I'll give you the floor on this one. We got the Utah Jazz. Just missing the playoffs last year. They let. Everybody's wondering who they're keeping, Al Jefferson or Paul Millsap.
And they're both going.
They let them both go.
Yeah. I think on this
show, they're going young.
Didn't I say on this show last year that I said one of them would get traded. I didn't say they lose both, so I was half right. My theme for this team is and I know it's a funny term, but like house money, because there's a lot of young guys in this team, and I think Ty Corbin's just gonna let them play. You got Canner, Favors, Haywood, Trey Burke. You got a little bit of veteran leadership there. Richard Jefferson's there. So I think house money is the theme of this squad, because they're just gonna let the young guys play and see how it goes. The bench isn't bad. They have a couple guys on the bench. Alec Burks is a decent player. Andres Beardridge is there now. I mean, who knows what he's got left. I don't know. That's the way I see it. I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but I think they'll be one of those teams on like any given night they can beat. They can beat anybody. They'll be fun to watch at times, and then there'll be other times when you're like, whoa, because young team growing pains, So it will be interesting to see. But I think Ty Corbin will do a pretty good job with them. I don't know if there's anything you want to add.
I know you gotta love the 3 spot here with Richard Jefferson and Marvin Williams. Is there a 1-2 punch?
Why you gotta bring up Marvin Williams into this? You gotta rule a good thing. You always like Marvin Williams. People forget Marvin Williams was drafted ahead of Chris Paul and Darren Williams.
Yeah.
Gotta throw that out there. I don't mind Richard Jefferson. I'm just to me he's
throwing it all out.
Yeah, no, I don't mind Jefferson. It's just Marvin Williams.
Yeah. They do have a lot of interesting young talent. I guess we'll see. Obviously, they're developing towards the future. I think we all kind of saw that coming when they made the trade with New Jersey. Mm-hmm. And they brought in all that young talent and draft picks and everything. So.
Yep. This is going to kind of be a let's see what we have with these young guys team. Canner. Because Canner and Favors really never got a chance to play with Jefferson and Millsap there.
Yeah.
So you take those 2 guys out, and now they have to play now.
Yeah.
I like Gordon Haywood. He's had some bright spots in the league. Mm-hmm. And I think Trey Burke's gonna be good. I think he's gonna be solid. Obviously it's not gonna be right away, but I think he's gonna be a solid player, solid point guard in the NBA.
And they're gonna be back in the lottery again this year.
Oh yeah, well yeah, obviously.
So we'll see who they get to draft. And come next June,
and then just keep building. So.
It's one step at a time.
Yeah.
They've been good before a couple of times. They can definitely develop this roster into something. I guess we'd be moving on to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh yeah, this is another interesting team to talk about. Of course, there's the Kevin Love factor. If we don't get better, he's pretty much come out and said if they're not, what is it? Is it 2 years he can opt out?
Yeah, it's pretty much they need to be a playoff team.
Yeah, or he's opting out.
I mean, I like him and Rubio.
But Mr. Love also has to stay healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't in 3 seasons. He hasn't been healthy, right? I think it's been 3 years. He gets hurt every year.
Last year he was hurt most of the season.
Rubio's coming back.
Yep.
I like the Kevin Martin pickup. I mean, I thought they overpaid a tad bit to get him, but that's kind of the way it goes in the NBA. He'll spread the floor for him, but he's not the Kevin Martin of old, obviously. So, but he'll spread the floor. He'll knock down some shots. Corey Brewer's okay, good defender.
Nikola Pekovic has been good for them.
Pekovic has been good at the center. He's kind of surprised. He kind of came out of nowhere, didn't he?
Yeah.
You look at the bench, J.J. Barea, and they draft Shabazz Mohammed. He had some maturity issues in college. Hopefully he grows up.
Been decent.
Buttinger's been a solid player.
Lexi Shved had some good moments last season.
And they still have Derek. I talk about this guy all the time, but they still have Derek Williams, who they drafted him number 2 overall a couple years ago, and they haven't really been able to find a knack for this guy in the league.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys. He played power forward in college, and he came to the league thinking that he was going to play power forward. Not really big enough to play power forward, but he doesn't really have the skill set to be like a legit small forward. So he's kind of like one of those guys that's a tweener, and we know how well those guys survive in the NBA. But so we'll have to see.
Rick Adelman is still the coach.
Yeah, Rick. He does a good job.
I like Rick Adelman.
Yeah, does a good job.
I did read a couple rumors that people, and this is just what people believe, but I did read it in more than one spot that people think that if this team doesn't develop, that Flip Saunders would come down and coach.
I can see that. I mean,
like I said, it's all rumor, it's all talk. Yeah. Nobody really knows. Flip Saunders never said it himself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's going to be these next 2 years. It's going to kind of be all hands on deck because this team cannot afford to lose Kevin Love. So it's going to kind of be...
A lot of free agents go to Minnesota.
Yeah, so it's going to kind of be all hands on deck there, I believe. It's going to be... They're going to do everything they can to make this guy happy, and hopefully they can keep him on the court, him and Rubio. I do not have them in the playoffs. I know there are people that do.
I do.
You do.
I think they're going to sneak into the 8th seed. I can see scenarios where they don't make it, of course, including injuries.
Yeah, I
mean, their bench is not great. I really like Love and Rubio. I like the development of Pekovic. I kind of like their starting lineup where I think they're going to be good enough. And that's why I think they could squeeze into an 8th seed.
Okay. Well, we agree to disagree. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, can't agree on everything.
No.
I mean, I don't think their team's going to be great, but I think they'll be over 500. I think they can nail the 8th seed. I mean, there's going to be a race. I mean, the 2 teams that we've talked about being right outside of the playoff, it's like, the Dallas Mavericks and the Lakers. Those are the 2 teams I think are going to be, in that mix that don't make it. And they could easily, both of those teams could easily knock off the Wolves. I mean, if Kobe comes back and he's able to will his team like he did last year, if Dirk has another amazing season, and, Calderon and Ellis and, some of those other guys step up, I mean, Dallas can easily take their spot. I don't think they don't have a spot locked up in the playoffs, but I think out of those teams, I'm going to give them the edge.
All right. So, moving on.
Moving on, we have the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah. Well, no, this is another interesting.
Well, let's go down a little history lesson. We'll go all the way. We won't go all the way back to Sam Bowie, but we'll. I mean, then we could go back to Bill Walton. I mean, this franchise unfortunately had a lot of bad luck with injuries, but in recent history, they had Brandon Roy, picked up LaMarcus Aldridge, and then of course they drafted Greg Oden. Greg Oden never really played. Brandon Roy started having his problems. LaMarcus Aldridge is the only one that's still there. I mean, and they had a nice, they had a nice core with those 3. They had some nice role players around them, and it started looking good in Portland. And just the injuries just broke them down. They kind of, so they've kind of been in this rebuild. LaMarcus Aldridge, like I said, is still there. They have Batum. They just drafted, Damian Lillard last year, who's, became the Rookie of the Year. Now they drafted C.J. McCollum. They have a lot of young guys: Thomas Robinson, Myers Leonard. I actually really like the addition of Robin Lopez. Kind of gives him a legit 5, so LaMarcus Aldridge can play the 4. LaMarcus Aldridge, remember last season, was playing a lot of 5. He didn't like it, and so you got to keep your star happy. He'd probably, Damian Lillard could be, but right now LaMarcus Aldridge is probably considered their best player. And so, you got to keep him happy. He's better at the 4 anyway. So, now they have Robin Lopez, who's, defensive, rebounds. Marcus Aldridge, of course, is going to be the offensive player in the post. And they have Batum, Matthews, and Lillard that can all score. They have an interesting team. I don't see them in the playoffs, but they'll definitely win some games. They'll be fun to watch. I mean, I don't know if you have these guys.
No, I don't have them in the playoffs either. I mean, they have a lot of young guys, like you mentioned. Leonard, Robinson. They bring in Mo Williams.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Mo Williams.
Nice little scoring punch off the bench.
That'll help them because remember they had a terrible bench last season.
Darrell Wright, he can spread the floor. I do not have this team in the playoffs. And like you said, just bad luck with injuries. But
it's almost like they had to go into reset mode.
Yeah, but I think one of the things we'll see with this team, and I'm sure you'll agree, because there were plenty of rumors last year. When will the LaMarcus Aldridge trade rumors start coming back? I believe if this team is not playing well, going into like that January-ish part of the year, I think those rumors will start flying around again. Who knows if they'll move him or not? I mean, I think obviously
there's been a lot of talk on both sides.
Yeah,
the Blazers kind of like it's time to move on from LaMarcus Aldridge, and LaMarcus Aldridge is like, I kind of want to be on a winning team. Neither side really seems to be forcing the issue, which is kind of good. They kind of still have a good working relationship. Where LaMarcus is like, hey, like I still like Portland, and Portland's like, we do want to win, and we like having you here. So I mean, which is good because won't be an ugly situation.
If the time comes. Yeah, like I said, I just think the rumors will start to fly around again. I don't think. Of course. I don't. Obviously, if it'll be a
business decision like Phoenix with Steve Nash.
Yeah. Obviously, I think if it's really bad, you'll hear some rumblings from maybe Aldridge's camp saying, I like to play on a winning team.
But I think Portland will be just as willing to move him.
Yeah, how old is he? 28? 27, 28?
I thought he was a little closer there. I thought he was like 28, 29.
He's
somewhere in his late 20s.
Yeah, we'll have to look that up. So, obviously has a lot of basketball left. And if a team that's on the brink or one of those bubble teams could get him, like I know last year, like the Cleveland rumors were on the table. Mm-hmm. And you put him next to a guy like Kyrie Irving. They both stay healthy. That's a nice 1-2 punch. Those were the only. They're the only.
Andrew Bynum could stay healthy.
That'd be amazing. That's another. That's really the only team that I remember hearing like the serious trade rumors about. I don't remember hearing.
I guess we'll see.
Weren't there some Chicago Bulls rumors too? The team that actually originally drafted him, but that's not very.
Maybe they can trade. Boozer's what 2 this season and next, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there are some interesting trade. Even though Chicago they drafted him originally, they probably never should have traded him. No. For a guy named Tyrese Thomas, who we won't mention, who we won't talk about anymore.
Is he still in Charlotte?
No, I don't think he's on a team right now, bro. We're going. I don't think he's on the team anymore. They amnestied him.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And nobody's picked him up.
Yeah. Can we look that up? Really
Your boy is out of the league.
My boy.
He's your boy.
Oh, he's not. Why? 'Cause I used to clown him all the time.
I know you're a big Tyrese Thomas fan.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely have to look this up. little off subject.
Yeah, we tend to we get a little carried away sometimes.
Tyrese Thomas rumors. That's what Google wanted me to type. I don't want to hear rumors. I want to know where he is. I'm surprised Google didn't ask me why I care.
Home sitting on his couch, collecting his money.
That's what it does if you Google Adam Morrison, you hit search. It says why. Yeah, no, he is not in the league. Yeah,
it's all right. He's collecting his money because I think I want to say because he had like 5 years 40, and what they amnesty him 2 years in. Who's better than him? Right? Isn't that what they gave him?
Yeah, something like that.
Like 5 years 40.
Oh wow! Well, since I'm on the phone, we got some breaking news.
Uh-oh.
You ready for this one? Michael Redd to retire Wednesday in Milwaukee as 4th all-time in Bucks scoring. I know this is way off topic. I just
No,
happened to be
no,
looking at my phone.
you know what?
And this is
we
going to
can-
air 2 days from right now, so this won't be breaking news for the people at home.
Yeah,
But since we're sitting here,
Michael Redd.
wow.
Yeah, it's
We're going to talk about this is a little bonus for you guys.
yeah.
We're talking-
I always liked Michael Redd. He was
Good
on.
shooter. Remember, he got hurt.
Yeah, he was on the Redeem team. He was one of the guys that they picked to shoot, spread the floor. He did put up a lot of points, but he's another one of these guys. Knee problems, right?
Yeah, we were talking about the injuries. Portland. I guess kind of we'll blend it in like that.
It was knee problems, right?
Yeah.
Was it knee? Yeah,
remember he hurt his
bad
knee.
knee problems. And obviously,
He drafted in the second round too.
second round pick.
Yeah, he ended up failing. He got that max deal, then he hurt his knee.
And then obviously, I think same thing with Allen Houston. When you're
Is he going to keep going to camps like Allen Houston?
Well,
did?
no, I'm talking.
Remember, he was always on
I
the
know,
Knicks camp, and then he never made the team.
I know. I'm just talking as far as when you're a jump shooter and you start having knee problems. It's just not good. The list of names. How many people? Brandon Roy, Allen Houston, Michael Redd. How many? There's got to be more.
Well, I know he had other issues, but McGrady knees were part of it.
Yeah, I'm talking just purely jump shooters.
I know he wasn't purely a jump shooter, but
well, McGrady had back, shoulder, knees. His whole body just fell apart.
But knees were part of it.
Chris Webber, knee problems.
Mm-hmm.
He was a 20-10 guy
Yeah.
until he hurt his knee, and he was never the same. So, there's got to be other people. Who are we forgetting? Penny Hardaway, even though Penny Hardaway, who was one of my favorite players, even though he was more of a point guard, but he had knee issues.
Yeah.
And so it's
unfortunate.
It definitely is. And
it's too bad we didn't get that before the remember the first show of the season.
Yeah.
Talked about all the retirees.
So, but yeah.
Since we're on the topic of Michael Redd, and we asked this about all the other guys, I'm pretty sure we might agree on this. Unfortunately for Michael Redd. We talked about, if we think these guys are going in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, no.
I don't think he makes it.
No, I don't think he makes it either. If you look at his stats, I don't know if you want to look it up or you want me to pull it up on the computer.
We don't have to look up the stats. I just wanted to throw it out there. Yeah. I figure we all agree. I don't think there's anybody that's going to disagree with us.
Yeah. No, I know.
Unfortunately, he's a good player. Yeah. I wouldn't put him in the Hall of Fame, though.
Yeah, he was kind of like a lightning in the can. He had a couple good years. He got the max deal, then he started to get hurt, so he was never really able to.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. So.
Hopefully, he saved his money.
I'm sure he did.
So that's about it for the division. Of course,
Well, it's not bad to retire with a gold medal.
Yeah. But of course, the final question in the division, and I have a feeling we're going to agree on this, is who's going to win. Who's going to win the division?
I'm going to go with OKC. I think they're just the Durant Westbrook dynamic, along with the other guys pitching in. I think they have enough to win. You have a good coach, Scott Brooks. They will need to do something about their depth, I think, come along the season. I think Jeremy Lamb is going to have to play more. I know they had high hopes for him coming out of college when Houston drafted him. So maybe we see him a little bit more. Maybe he can be like a third scorer because that's kind of he's a scorer, and but another perimeter guy though. So we'll have to see how it goes.
I'm gonna agree with you for the division winner, as expected. Oklahoma City. The Wolves may or may not even make the playoffs. The Jazz and Blazers are looking at the lottery, and the Nuggets are. I feel like they're going to be a lower seed. I don't even think. I think the Oklahoma City pretty much already has this wrapped up before the season starts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of course they're going to have depth issues, and they're going to have to let these guys play. I think in the long term they're going to have to find out an answer to playing in the post. I think they need two answers. I think they need a big guy that can do it, and if Durant wants to develop more as the budding superstar that he is, I think he has to add that to his scoring game. If you look at guys like Carmelo, he goes in the post. Kobe Bryant goes in the post.
LeBron's starting to now. He's doing more.
He's starting. Of course, LeBron still has to improve in that too, but at least he does it. He's a step ahead of Durant.
Yeah, well, maybe they can work something out. Maybe do like an inside-outside game, have Westbrook dump it down to him. So I don't know. We'll have to see.
We'll see. The dude's like 6'10", 6'11". He should be able to post up a small forward.
No, you're right. Yeah, I hear you.
Maybe eat something so he can get a little weight in his body. But that's neither here nor there. I think that's pretty much it for the Northwest Division, and then of course the bonus Michael Red conversation.
Live updates.
You like that? We didn't even know that was going to happen on the show. Not that we have a script anyway. Scripts are boring, and way too much work. So we wouldn't even follow it anyway.
No,
can you imagine if we've had a script?
No, it'd be a complete waste of time.
We should. If we did a scripted show, you probably would have shut it off. Because then we wouldn't think because we think of our jokes on the fly.
Yeah.
But so that's pretty much the Northwest Division. Of course, that's all the divisions. So of course, check back throughout the season. We're going to be putting up periodic videos here and there. Of course, trade deadline. We're going to have a couple around there. We're definitely going to have some shows up during the playoffs, and of course, this guy's favorite day of the year, the NBA draft.
Yep.
So, and then of course next year we'll be putting together these preview shows. Hopefully earlier in October. Not as the season's already starting. We were definitely a little late, but definitely thanks for watching all the preview shows. If you missed any of them, of course you can go back on the YouTube channel, watch them, and like I said, just keep up with us throughout the season, and we'll see you next time. All right, signing off. The White Snoop and T-Rose Show. White Snoop T-Rose. Have a good night.
Check our videos at youtube.com/WhiteSnoop44. Email us at WhiteSnoopProductions@gmail.com. Become a fan at Facebook.com/WhiteSnoop244. Or follow us on Twitter.com/44entertainment.
This has been the White Snoop